What's up, guys? Just a little disclaimer before the video airs. I had a little bit of technical difficulties regarding the audio and the video. Typically, I'm on point, very OCD with the quality of my episodes, but shit happens. It is what it is, and one of my microphones was down, and my SIM card to my camera was not working, so I had to shoot this with one microphone, and I had to film it on an iPhone. But it worked out. It was a very anticipated episode, so I did not want to postpone it, did not want to push it any further, wanted to get it out to you guys. So just bear in mind, this is not the normal quality of my episodes. Go back and watch the previous episodes to catch up. But yeah, wanted to get it out to you guys regardless, so we made it work. Enjoy.
Don't ever let somebody tell you can't do something. You got a dream. You gotta protect it. You want something, go get it. Period.
What's up, guys? Jay Bandy here with the For the Love Podcast, episode 34, I believe this is. I'm here with the one and only Krissy Fit, aka Candy, and Pauly Cav, better known as the Godfather. What's up? Sunday night, chilling out, having a conversation. I think everybody was kind of anticipating this conversation. Probably one of my most anticipated episodes since I've been doing this. So we're going to get into a lot of things tonight. We'll talk about lifestyle. We'll talk about growing up. And just, if you know my podcast, it's more or less about kind of understanding people and their lives and who they really are and their stories, more or less than what people judge them by, what they see on the outside. Most people out here, what are we doing? We don't even know people, right? We don't even know people. So we talk about everybody's lives that we don't even know anything about. So that's what I kind of try to do. I've had it done to me a lot in my life because, you know, my face was everywhere, and that happens. And it's just something that's pretty common. So in this show, I just try to give people more of a platform. Because for me, I just love, like, kind of talking to people and getting more deep into life and their mind. And Paulie knows I talk his ear off at the gym. Oh, yeah. He talks my ear off. But, so, all right, so let's get into your backgrounds a little bit, kind of where you guys are from. Paulie?
So originally from West Haven.
We know.
Of course, I live in North Haven now.
Mm-hmm. West Haven High?
West Haven High.
What year did you graduate?
1989.
Now, who did you go to school with out there that I might know? What that was like in your class?
Steve Manware.
Oh, he was in your class?
Yeah.
I didn't know you guys went to school together.
Yeah.
I know. So I know we talked about this before. You had what was there, like little like cliques like in Greece and shit or something like that?
Like frats.
Frats?
That was a big thing back then.
What year was this?
Well, I was 89, but the frats were around for 1980.
So how did that work with the frats?
We had like different shirts and jackets we wore. We had our own EKA. We used to fight against DSKs.
Like legit fighting? Did you guys fight a lot?
Yeah, we legit.
Yeah, really. Now, what was the reason? Now, how did you guys become separate cliques like that? And like, what was the rivalry about?
It was like DSK was like the jocks, and then we were kind of like just on our own thing, EKA.
Yeah, okay, I get what you're saying. Yeah.
We just, I guess it was our neighborhood and people we hung out with. So that's how it went.
Gotcha, okay. So you graduate from high school. You were a corrections officer, right?
Yes.
Now, how quickly after high school did you get that job?
Well, 93, so it was a little bit after, so.
All right, so what did you do after high school for a little while? No college, nothing like that?
No, just did like a side job.
Yeah.
Worked part-time, like a stop and shop. And
You didn't, you kind of had to wait a little while to be a certain age to do that stuff, huh?
Yes.
Yeah, so you just chilled out for a minute.
Right.
But you kind of already knew you were going to go that route?
Yes.
Yeah. So why did you go to corrections before policing?
It was kind of more of like I felt like a stepping stone because I don't want to be a cop, so I said, let me do this first, get me ready.
Yeah.
So
But did your brother go straight into it?
He went straight into it. He had a full-time job like a Sikorsky, and then he went straight into it.
Oh, gosh, okay.
He had kids young and stuff. So.
Yeah. So you thought corrections would be a better stepping stone.
Yeah, I figured it would, get into the policing.
And what you weren't able to use that time, right? When you went to
I couldn't use the time.
Yeah. So what year did you become a cop?
95. So I did 2 years.
All right. 2 years corrections, became a cop in 95. Now, if you don't know, we worked together. Pauly was... It's crazy because the other night I was thinking, bro, I'm like, in reality, I've probably known you for my whole career at least. So,
yes.
And up until now, so that's probably about like 15 years or so.
Oh, yeah.
But to act like I didn't get close to you until like probably the end of my career.
Yes.
So at the end of my career, Pauly was the wagon guy, and
which is prisoner transport.
Yeah, transport van, whatever, And at the end of my career, a lot of times I was in detention fingerprinting. So he would come every morning in the van to pick up all the arrestees and transport them to the court, and then I would jump in the van with him and
y'all would go get
we'd go get coffee, breakfast, transport them, and then we'd go back to the PD and do our thing. But even so, like, we would work a lot of jobs together, road jobs, things like that, and like we just became pretty cool. You come across guys on that job that really kind of like get you through the day. Pauly was one for me. And then when those guys start leaving, you really feel the impact. For you, does that like resonate with you? Did you feel the same?
Yeah. I feel the same way.
Yeah. Like when you kind of were at the end of your career, because you did 25 years,
right,
which is long, bro.
Oh, yeah.
Which is what all these new cops have to do now. So get ready for it. But 25 years, like, I mean, when did you start feeling kind of like blah?
Yeah, I probably like the last few years of being over there. So.
Yeah.
Luckily, I had a decent gig with the wagon, but yeah.
Yeah. I mean, now that you're kind of out of it, do you look back a little bit? Like, do you miss it at all?
Not too much. I mean, I guess you miss some of the overtime extra duty, but
Yeah.
but I feel good being out.
He goes, I miss the overtime extra duty. He misses the money. But like for me, dude, like I have like a love-hate relationship with that job. I'm sure a lot of cops do to a certain extent, but like I miss a lot of the guys, man. Like just
me too.
breaking balls, you know what I mean? Like it was. I look back and I'm like, we actually did have a lot of fun, like laughing our balls off. You know what I mean? Like every morning, even 7 o'clock in the morning, lineup, you're just nobody's even awake. Yeah, and we're still laughing. You know what I mean? So that part of the job was great. So I do love that part. So you retired. You retired after me. After me, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So Pauly retired a little bit while after me. Then you decided to stay a police officer, and you went to another town after that. We'll get into that later on in the show. Krissy, you grew up where? North Haven. Okay, and you're still in North Haven for now. And when did you graduate?
Same year he got on the PD, 95.
Oh, snap. Okay, so there's an age difference?
A little bit.
Oh, yeah.
How much?
Well, I'm 47 years.
4 or 5 or what?
Yeah.
Okay, it's not crazy, really. All right, so you graduated, and what do you do after grad? Did you kind of like have any idea of what you wanted to do, or?
I actually went to be a nurse.
Yeah.
And actually, I started Southern, and I went for psychology, and then I started. I didn't like it, but so I went on and I went to be a medical assistant, but my parents owned a business, and so every time I tried to go somewhere else, I'm like, why am I working somewhere else when I can be my own boss?
Right.
So that's what's up with that. Yeah.
Okay, so you never kind of really felt comfortable working in that environment, though, like a 9 to 5 type.
I did not like the 9 to 5. I did not like sitting in an office. I'm born and raised like an alpha female, so even when I worked at gyms, I always kind of just took over the role. I mean, I was a nerd. It's just a natural thing for me to just take over the role as a leader. Yeah,
you feel more comfortable being in control.
I do.
Obviously, I think we know this.
But I mean, not in a bad way. But it's just like I'm a natural leader.
Yeah. Understandable. I mean, I kind of felt the same way where, like, after policing for me, I'd never wanted to really go back to a 9-to-5 type gig like that. It did not inform me. It was funny because I talked to somebody the other day, and I had to go do security course, and you have to shoot and stuff like that. And you're with civilians, so obviously, you know, we have better training, we do it better, whatever. So, somebody was saying to me how, like, oh, you seem really good at that, whatever. I mean, it's just what we've done for so long. And it hit me, and I was just like, yeah, but you know what? Like, even though I might be good at policing or doing things that involve policing, it was never really a passion for me. It didn't make me feel, like, good to that extent. It made me feel good sometimes when you really helped somebody. You know, when you really saved somebody or you know, you could see that it was beneficial what you were doing, but
you still like to be in that dominant role.
Yeah. I like to have more control over my life.
Mm-hmm.
That job doesn't really give that to you, which is understandable, and I already knew that going in. But it's very aggressive with how they want to you know control you in a way. But I like to create. I'm a creative guy, you know, like that's how my brain works. I have more of a creative brain, so that's why, like, you know, they didn't like guys like that really, like in that field, you know, because you see a lot. They want you to be just a cop all the time, and that just be your identity. And for me, I had other things that I like to do, so I just knew that I didn't want to really kind of pursue policing stuff after either, you know. So I remember it was funny because I remember I'd be working with Paul. You were doing Uber for a little while or whatever it was, Lyft or was it one of those?
Well, I did Uber deliveries during, which was funny because COVID changed my life. But during COVID, everything shut down.
Yeah.
You know, you guys had to work
because
you were, you know, needed. But so I did Uber deliveries to get out of the house and to stay sane. Everybody, nobody could go out to eat. Mm-hmm. So, you know, like it was busy and I was, you know, making money. And
I would think during that time that was probably a good gig.
It really was because nobody can go out to eat.
That makes sense.
Ordering. And like I said, it got me out of the house, you know.
And I feel like that was kind of, you know, now it's super popular, Uber Eats and all that stuff.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? So the pandemic probably boosted that a lot, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy now. You can get anything into your door, you know? So, yeah, but I remember, and then, you know, you did the training thing for a long time. Mm-hmm. I just remember, you know, you kind of trying to find your way, you know? And that's a big part in reality of being a creative person and trying to travel through this world where society kind of makes you believe you have to do all these other things to be successful, you know, and not being yourself at the same time. So that's kind of what I feel happens. You know, it takes longer, I feel like, for creative people if you're not.
Or just to feel comfortable.
Yeah, if you're not in that that aspect of your mind yet, because you know you'll see a lot of young people. They're creative and they run with it, but you have to be comfortable and secure with running with that, you know, and until you get to that point, you're not going to really be able to take it as far as you really want to. So let's see, where should we go from there? So you graduate, you find your way through, you know, various different types of jobs. Let's talk about how you guys meet. Now, first and foremost, you're both prior married. You have kids with another person. Yes. You have kids with another person. So your first marriage is that only one marriage, or you had more than one?
2.
You maniac, fucking Pauly. Oh God, dude.
Well, because
never learns his lesson, this guy, huh?
As we get into it, you finally found your fetish.
That's right.
Okay. So
and Krissy was and also you did the personal training before you got into all this.
Oh
stuff,
yeah.
Right? Yeah.
And then we just knew each other from around town.
Yeah. Let's get into how you guys. So you get divorced. You guys are kind of. How long did it take for you guys to find each other after your divorces?
Probably like a year.
Yeah, I mean, I probably was divorced 3 to 4.
Yeah.
Maybe single.
Just living single life. Yeah. Okay. So that's interesting. You didn't really kind of jump quickly into finding somebody else. You took your time.
No, it was more than a year. Oh, it was more than a year. for sure.
Right.
Yeah, it was definitely 3 or 4.
Right.
Yeah.
You're right. I'm gonna make.
So, all right. So it takes you guys a couple years to come across each other, but you kind of already knew who each other was.
Yeah, just from like school, like
Yeah.
the kids going to school and stuff like that.
Yeah,
you know.
Right.
Okay, so same town. Like you guys lived in the same towns. Were you living in North Haven?
Oh yeah, I was in the
Yeah.
same town. So both lived in the same
But
town.
this was it was only like a year that
Right.
we would see each other in like pickup line.
Gotcha.
And
Yeah, it's
so he
different
would
for
try to
schools.
talk to me, and I would just be like,
Right.
"Yeah, okay."
Yes.
All right, so Pauly was trying to make the move. It didn't really, wasn't
Right.
really, he
Yes.
wasn't getting it right away. What made you finally give in?
So we were on a dating website, and I messaged him like, "Hey, aren't you Paul? LOL." Like, not even like thinking. I'm just like, "Hey," like, and he was, was like, "Oh yeah, whatever." Like, so I said, "Well," he goes, "Well, what are you doing tomorrow?" So I'll never forget. So then he goes, "Oh no, he was working the St. Patrick's Day parade." So I said to my girlfriend, we were supposed to go to the casino. I'm like, we're gonna go to the St. Patrick's Day parade, and we went there just like he was working, but and we just like kind of chatted for a few
Right.
minutes, and the next night we went out to dinner and.
So Pauly slid in the DMs, huh? Using the social media. Oh,
yeah.
damn, I didn't know you knew how to do that, bro.
I know. Can you believe it?
That's funny,
I
bro.
was stuck in a post over at like York Street somewhere by
Yeah.
CVS, and then she met me, but
Yeah, so that was kind of your first real encounter.
yes.
All right, so you go to dinner. Do you remember where that was?
90s.
Oh, that's fucking hilarious. And everybody who knows Pauly knows that all he talked about was
All the
90s.
time.
Oh yeah.
Every day in lineup, he'd be like, "Oh, it's Friday. We're going to 9 East or
Oh,
whatever." Oh, dude, you cracked me up. That place fell off. I think that you still go there. You don't go there anymore,
not
really, right?
No.
Last couple times I went there, I was not impressed,
Yes.
bro. Not impressed. But that's funny. That's hilarious. So you guys meet. How long did you date for prior to being married?
2 years?
2 years long. Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Right.
Yeah.
A couple of years.
That's pretty
So
good.
he kind of moved in. He was living somewhere, and then I actually was living in the same town, just like down the street.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And then he moved in into my apartment, and then we went on vacation to Dominican, and
Oh,
I can't. You can't keep a surprise from me, but I found a box. And I didn't open it.
You ruined it.
No, I didn't open it. And so we got to the Dominican, and I was texting my girlfriend, and I'm like, okay, we've been here for 2 days. There's nothing. He's letting me unpack his suitcase. Like, can I take it? And he's like, yeah, go ahead. So I'm like, okay, it's probably a pair of earrings, whatever. And make a long story short, it's probably the only time you were able to surprise me. I'm competitive, so I'm like Monica from Friends. So there was this show, or not this like couples game. So I'm like, we're so doing that. So he, behind my back, whatever, said to the guy, okay, we're gonna do the show, but I'm gonna propose to her. So we get on the stage, and they said to each person, say something, or tell us where you're from, and like say something to your girlfriend. But they made us last. So the guy's like, he would be like, I'm Jay, I'm from Connecticut, and I'm having a really good time. So they get to us, and so he was like, okay. I was like, yeah, Chrissy from Connecticut, Paul from Connecticut. So I'm still like clueless. The guy brings us up. I'm thinking we're gonna get ready to do like the first game, and he proposed.
Wow, look at Pauly.
Oh yeah.
Look
right
at
on the
Pauly.
stage.
Sliding into the DMs. Doing these little pre-game ritual things to get
I think we lost the game, but that's all right.
planning out everything, dude. I'm pretty impressed.
He
Pretty
put it
impressed.
in the sock. He put the ring in the sock.
Oh, you never found?
I never found. No.
So it wasn't in the box.
No.
That's funny.
It was, but he put it in his socks, so that's why he let me undo his suitcase.
And you didn't know that was in there?
No, and I was like, it's been.
But did you Yeah. So you were ready. You wanted it to happen.
I thought it was going to.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I found the box and I didn't open it, so I'm like, what's in there?
You made it happen. All right. So you're engaged. How long were you engaged for?
Oh gosh. Well, we wanted to try to get married before my mom passed.
Right.
And I don't think that happened, but So that's why we said we're gonna go to Vegas because we've been married before. We want to do something like so we were probably only engaged for like a couple months, and then we wanted to
Right.
do it before, but
Yeah,
it didn't work out.
that's
But yeah, so.
And so you guys make the plans to go to Vegas, and was it just you guys? Did anybody else go out there?
Yeah, one of my good guy friends came and he stood up for us, and it was a good time. We got married on the gondola.
That's cool.
And
that's cool.
We go back every year.
Nice. Really? Every year?
Yeah.
Oh, so like anniversary type thing?
Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty
I
cool.
love it there.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, I've been there a few times. I haven't been in a while.
Beautiful place.
Yeah. It's fun out there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. You gamble a lot or no?
No,
That's
I'm
not-
the gambler.
Yeah. What do you play? Slots?
I play the slots. Yeah.
Yeah. Pauly just stands there watches.
Give me a glass of wine.
Oh shit! I'm not. Casino and gambling, bro. It's like does not for me really.
Yeah.
I've been liking. You know what I've been loving lately is comedy, bro. Like comedy shows and stuff. I love that stuff. So that's kind of like my thing.
Well, actually, we were supposed to go to Sebastian Maniscalco.
Yeah.
That weekend.
Right.
We had gotten tickets like 6 months in advance.
Mhm.
But we ended up getting married that weekend. So
Oh,
we missed
wow.
Sebastian Maniscalco.
Hey, it was worth it, right? All right, so now you guys are married. Now, when you're married, you also have two families. You have basically two families that you're intertwining. How was that? Was that like an adjustment? Did the kids like get along with each other? Did you know?
Yeah, I mean they're boys and girls, so and they were younger.
Just did their own.
So
thing.
yeah, you know what I mean.
Okay.
So and I mean, my boys get along with him so well because they're all into sports and stuff. So
Yeah, Pauly's
Yeah.
like Paul.
A little bit of adjustment.
Imagine Pauly being your stepdad. Oh man, bro. Oh god.
A little bit of adjustment, but yeah.
Funny, bro. So, all right. So now you're kind of finding your way while he's busting his ass being a cop. Because I
Yeah,
remember
I
him
was,
working hundreds of hours. You know.
working, managing at a gym,
Yeah.
and just
Well, for a while there, you got really like into bodybuilding and powerlifting
So then I
and
did, yeah. So then I always wanted to do a show, and having someone that supports female bodybuilding. So I was like, you know what, the kids are older now, like where I can take the time and do the training. So I did do 2 shows, and I could have went for my pro card, but it would have just been way too much more, So I stopped.
It's a lot of work.
So I got first place. I'm happy with that, and
Yeah.
I'm leaving it at that.
That's good.
And then I did do a powerlifting, and I did win overall. And then I was going to do another one, and I had to have my appendix taken out.
Damn.
And then COVID happened.
shit.
So, but I'm happy that I did them. But I do have a different outlook now. But
Yeah, it seems like you're kind of over that part of your life, to a certain extent.
yes, have to look a certain way and get judged. It's completely the opposite of what I do
Yeah,
now.
really stressful, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, I think that it's funny because I think knowing you back then and knowing you now, you seem less wired almost, like more comfortable.
Well, like I said, COVID was the best thing, or quarantine. Not COVID. Quarantine was the best thing that happened because it's like, oh my God, like, okay, I don't have to get up to an alarm. I have the time to, like, just work on I have nothing to do but be with myself.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So some people, that was the worst thing that happened to them, but quarantine, it was the best thing
Yeah,
that happened.
that's an interesting point. I mean, because kind of having to sit with yourself is where you can either grow or figure a lot of things out about yourself, your life, so on. Yeah, but it just seems like you were more
Yeah, because I was
worrisome
like, here,
when you
there,
yeah,
there,
you know. But
like,
you
I
were always
wasn't
like
yeah.
and then you had to keep up with that bodybuilding lifestyle and that look and all those things, and that to a certain extent, like
It's tiring on,
it is.
on your
It's tiring.
mind
It
and
is.
body.
It is. It is. And there's a lot of anxiety involved in it, and just like so that's good because you do seem more comfortable now in your life, and so COVID happens. You're doing the Uber Eats and all this stuff, and then now let's get into the life The Life of Candy. And now Pauly retires. He's working in another department.
Well, he was. I don't think he retired. Did he?
No, I think you were still.
Yeah, still
when
there.
you first started doing this stuff,
Yeah.
you were still there.
Right, yeah.
I'm pretty sure because, Pauly was like my boy, so I kind of obviously knew the inside scoop of, your life and your lifestyle, And Pauly's not really. He doesn't shy away from his life. It's not like he's doesn't approve of himself and like is worried about what people think. He's very open. I think that's why me and Pauly kind of click is because I'm a very open person. I mean, when you meet people that are like that, you just kind of like mesh good, with the same personalities. So Pauly's still working in New Haven. You start, I think, like, how did this begin? Because did it start with just wrestling?
No. So when there was someone, when we were getting ready to shut down, I mean, you can't even like tell these stories a million times and it's the same story.
What was getting
true.
ready to shut down? The world?
The world,
Oh,
from
okay.
quarantine.
Yeah.
And there was somebody that went to the gym and they said, jokingly, I should start an OnlyFans. Actually, it was a guy that, just went to the gym. I should start an OnlyFans. I'm like, what is that?
Yeah. That's crazy to even think
so
like
I look into it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, I don't even know what, like, but I would be driving, doing, my Uber, watching YouTube videos, learning that, blah, 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 whatever. So I get approved on there.
Yeah. Is that how it works? You have to get approved?
Yes, because you can go on there. I'm not saying you're, but you
scam
can say you're
artists.
me.
Yeah.
That you need your face because that way, like, you're not like if you even have your foot in my video,
right.
I have to tag you. Do you know what I'm saying?
Oh, okay.
That, like, you know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah.
I could take any video. I could sit here right now, post you on there. If I don't have your approval,
Yeah.
do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's very anyway. So I do this, and then I'm like, okay. So I made the mistake of whichever you can't do, and I'm the connoisseur of this, but I post it on my TikTok and I post it on my Facebook.
This is when you first started.
Yeah. So if you're going to be in this industry, you don't want to post it on your personal,
Why?
I mean, now I don't, but because I am.
You're saying you want to have kind of separate lives, or like
everyone that does it. I mean, I'm not ashamed of it, but no, I mean, my Facebook is for my family. Do you
Yeah,
know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah,
So
yeah,
like,
yeah. It's understandable.
But anyway, so there was someone that was said something to my boss at the gym, so he was like, just take it down from your Facebook. So.
you were still working at the gym while
well, we
starting
were in
this.
quarantine, but yes.
Yeah, okay,
So
got it.
if you want to have any kind of, you want to sell feet pictures, you want to do anything, you need to have a platform where people are going to find you.
Right.
How do you do that? Because now I can't do it on.
Your social
Right.
medias, yeah.
So I start camming.
Hmm.
So I would stay up till 5 o'clock in the morning, webcamming.
And did you know how to do this at all? Or?
I brought all the equipment, lights, camera. You're like, where's the camera now? But so my computer, and it just so I did do a couple different sites, and then there was one that geared toward bodybuilding girls, and it was quarantine and no one was having contact with anybody. So again, it was like boom, 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 boom. It was really good money.
Wow. It's interesting that you say that because two things I just noticed while you were talking. One, you didn't really have much help creating this. You did it all from scratch yourself. Mm-hmm. So I do have to say I respect that.
Thank you.
Because, I'm similar. Like when I started the podcast, when I do music, anything I do, I really just kind of learn and do it myself. I don't rely on other people to teach me or anything like that. It's just, so that's very good. And the fact that COVID, just how to take advantage of that and look back now and say, wow, like, I wonder if it would have been the same if it wasn't COVID.
I don't think so.
You know what I mean?
Probably not.
You know?
So, I don't think so. You're right. But So I start doing this webcamming so I can get a name for myself, to have a site to promote my OnlyFans.
Right.
And back then, OnlyFans was what you see on Facebook and Instagram right now. Girls in their bras and underwear.
Yeah, but that's crazy.
So it was just like I was by myself.
Yeah, I wonder how it turned into all that other stuff.
I don't know, but I was doing everything by it was just me.
Did they not allow it in the beginning? Do you know? Were there like restrictions like in their terms and policies and stuff, like no nudity, shit like that, or?
I mean, you'd have to pay for it, but it was mostly single people. I mean, not single people, but one model. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
And then it started to get a little bit more. Okay, so I'm like.
Were you watching other OnlyFans to kind of understand and learn?
I think I followed
what people were posting and stuff,
but I did a lot of YouTube videos and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I was following I think I was only following two. I really kind of did it on my own, and then I from the webcamming sites, and then I built a name built a name for myself, and because I mean, if you don't know somebody, you're not going to go on there. You're not going to you're going to go on there. You're going to be like, oh, okay, I like her, webcamming, or I like her videos. Let me see her. But if you don't, you got to look up the person's name. So it's very you know what I mean.
If you're not really to become well known or known, you have to be putting out good content that's going to make people come back and watch and see oh, this is the person, this is my favorite person or whatever. That's just how that industry is. So you start doing the camming and the OnlyFans, and you're building up a fan base. Were you making money off that stuff? Yeah, yeah. Was the money decent?
Well, especially during, like I said, quarantine.
It was.
I mean,
Yeah. Wow, that's crazy.
Because people have to pull you into.
Well, they're subscribing, right?
They're subscribing, but I don't really do the webcamming anymore. I'll do private Skypes, so that it's just getting.
Oh, that's I didn't even know that.
But again,
existed.
You have to build, and anybody can say, I'll do that, or but who's gonna find you? You know what I mean? So
yeah, how are you gonna? I find this to be something that you have to do in any industry or in any type of business. Marketing. How do you get in front of people's faces? Mm-hmm. So just because of the industry you're in, it's the same thing throughout any type of business industry. So where does the wrestling start?
So this is the point that changed my life. Who's a very good friend and producer of mine now. He brought me into a private on the webcamming site, and we talked, and so he was like, "Did you ever think about doing session wrestling?" And actually, I mean, we watched the movie. There's a movie about a woman, Sally, who
Kill Sally.
Yeah. But so it's kind of cool because she's so, and I was like, no, what so I'm like, really, they just want to, and everybody listen,
some guy was telling you about this.
This is one of my best friends in the world now.
Yeah.
And one of Paul's good friends now.
Yes. Yeah.
And he said something about, and I remember saying, I feel like my mother brought us together for some reason. And he was just like, you got to try. And so I was like, I don't know. So like I said, there are many different, I mean, you could be sitting, next to somebody in your cruiser and you have no idea what kind of fetish they have or what. Did you ever see the show Billions?
Yeah.
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
It is about the person not wanting to be in control.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? So
that guy's always in control in his normal life.
And there was she controlled him.
Yeah.
And whatever the fetish is, you have to get into people, and you have to be a good people person. You can't just not know what the fuck you're doing and not know how to you know what I'm saying? Anyways, so yeah, and then and I said to him, he's like, I don't know, I'm like, but he knows more about female bodybuilding than I did, and from there, like so again, I had to join a site to be approved, and you know, so people know that it's not like you just trying to be like, hey,
this was
come wrestle me.
Yeah, so there's websites where you go and you find matches.
Yeah, and back then, well, not back then, but like when, so I met the person actually who made up the idea of female bodybuilders wrestling men. I met him in San Diego, and like that was the whole thing. Like he goes, we had a look on like the back, like, and some of the girls that I've met, they were like, I just needed a job, and it was like I was a bodybuilder, and okay, I'm gonna go wrestle a guy. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
So yeah, it's kind of cool. I don't like to fight women, but I will fight a man.
Now, obviously the men are being submissive. This is what they want.
Yeah.
Now, do you remember your first match?
Yeah, it was a beatdown with gloves.
What does that mean?
Just
with gloves?
Beat you down with my boxing gloves.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. And that's so. Now, that what you were doing, this beat down with boxing gloves, was that what this guy wanted? That was his specific thing. That's so interesting. That's so interesting. I wonder. See, this is why I love doing shows like this and stuff, and like this is how my mind works and why I do this show, because my mind is just a why mind. It's like, why? What's the reasoning? I want to get deeper into it. So, like, I sit here and I think to myself, why does that guy want to get beat by a female with boxing gloves on? What's the reasoning?
I said that too.
You might want to have me dominate you, but like I know the beatdowns and like but they're there's not too many beatdowns, but it's really just more about like who wouldn't want to be just, hey, let my girls take. I mean, like just in mind and take control. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I don't. It's about maybe feeling like a lot of people. There was one person that there was a girl like in high school, and people were like, "Oh, you can't wrestle her; she'll win." And he's like, "I never got to do it." And he's like, "And I just let you know what I mean." So.
Do you think that a lot of this stuff that you're doing with these people, do you think that it's like a mental thing with them, like not a mental illness that they have, but more or less like it seems like their past and whatever traumas or things that they've gone through in their life is causing them to want these things? I just wonder what the correlation is. It's interesting, like you're saying, like, oh, this guy was stuck on not being able to beat up a girl in high school or some shit or whatever, and then like now he wants to get beat up with boxing gloves by a girl. It's like, so those correlations and how the mind, just that I'm just fascinated with the mind. You know what I mean? Like that's interesting to me. That this is the end result of what's going on in this guy's head. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
It's interesting to me. So you're not necessarily doing anything sexual at this point.
No.
Right. Okay. So now you're getting flown out. Is everything paid for?
I mean, I do shoots. I do. If I get flown out, I mean, like I have somebody that I work with that does foot tickling videos. So they'll fly us out, and we'll like I said, there's all kind of different
You don't have to answer this, but I'm just curious. The financial aspect of this business. What's the most you ever made in one show or doing one thing? Like,
I probably won't answer that.
No, but like, is it a good amount?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's.
But I love what I do.
Yeah.
I love what I do, and I am genuine. Every, even the girls that I work with, we all love each other. We have a close, connection.
What do you mean by girls you work with?
We shoot wrestling videos.
Yeah.
And.
Is it a specific circle of girls, and you only work with these girls, or do you come across new ones?
I come across new ones, but I've been fortunate enough to work with the top girls, and I love them to death, and we've become because we're all real.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. You kind of just don't shy away from what you're doing and who you are.
Yeah, and we're just cool. At the end of the day, even though I mean, yeah, I'm really into what I do, but like, we're acting.
Yeah.
So if I have to do a custom video, like Brad Pitt is not really, box or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're acting.
Yeah.
So
Gotcha.
it's exactly what we're doing.
Yeah. Now, when she starts doing all this stuff and she's getting into this, what was your thought process? I mean, I already know you, bro, and I know how you are. You're kind of like, you just are the most go with the flow type of dude. But what was where was your head at when she started doing this?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of was like in the middle, but I mean, I guess after doing it, I got
But I am
really
gonna
more
be-
supportive.
I am the
But
only.
I was kind of the unknown, you know.
Yeah,
You've
were
had
you-
2 marriages.
Yes,
I'm the only one that's ever been honest.
right,
So this is why our marriage works.
right.
Okay, that's understandable. I can
Do you know what I'm
I can
saying?
see
So I
that.
feel
Yeah.
like that's
But let me
why-
ask you this: if he told you he wasn't comfortable with it, then what would happen? How would you feel? Like, would that change you doing it? Would you still do it? How would you approach that? Because this was obviously something that it's not like you guys met and this was already happening. This came into your life together. You get what I'm saying? So what if he was a guy that wasn't cool with it? Obviously, it works for you guys, but
Well,
what would
that's
have
the
happened?
thing. I think that
Do you think
It
you would have
works.
came to a compromise? Do you think that like you just? I think you're. I don't think you could be. You probably can't be with somebody like that. That's going to tell you no. You can't do this with your life.
no, and that's why I think that it works.
Right.
Because we've
Yeah.
been through a lot. I mean,
Oh yeah.
I had to do it.
No,
Well, this is the thing. It's like obviously everybody, and this is why we do these. I do these things. Is everybody on the outside, judges. Everybody looks at everybody's outside or what they hear or what they're seeing going on. There's a whole other aspect to people and their lives. So like when you sit here and you say, "Oh, like we've been through so much," like yeah, no shit. Like you have to, as a couple, be pretty comfortable with yourself and your
And there's
your
so
lives.
many couples that
Well, I truly believe that the majority of relationships out here, not all of them obviously, but a large percentage of people are just settling, not fully happy, and that's just sad. It's a sad thing to see, but you guys are kind of living a pretty free, open life with each other, and obviously, yeah, honesty and being accepting of each other's lives and what you want. And being supportive is definitely a good way to keep a relationship together, and I think
that's why I do the films.
Right.
I do them with him.
yeah, that's understandable. It's understandable, and we'll get to that. We'll get to so. But yeah, Paul. So I mean, I just always wondered, like in the beginning, where your head kind of was with this. Like, were you nervous? Were you like, did it make you feel stressed out and stuff, or?
I knew she was, really enjoyed doing it and was happy.
Nervous for
So
my safety.
I was kind of nervous for her safety and whatnot. But
Yeah.
I kind of was
Because you're not going out there with her and stuff like that. You're not flying to these places.
Sometimes.
sometimes.
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. But in the beginning, not much. I mean, when you were working still at the PD and she was doing this type of stuff, she was like you were working around the clock, so you
Right.
weren't really going.
No.
She was kind of starting off by herself.
Right.
Yeah, I don't think I was doing as much traveling.
No.
Yeah, you were kind of just doing the camming and shit. Okay, so now you're doing the wrestling and this and that. When does it start to get more into the sexual aspects? Because I honestly, I really don't know fully what the hell.
Other clips.
I never even watched any of these things. You know what I mean?
I don't think. Why you don't want to see it work for your friend?
No, I know. But I'm sure some of these people that are watching this right now have watched those. But me personally, like I've seen like the clips, like the whatever I've sent to you guys
whole
when
thing,
you got it,
yeah.
But I don't know. I didn't watch any of the videos, so I don't know what goes on. But now, obviously, you're doing more fetish type stuff. Whether it's do you like beat guys' ball sacks and stuff like that?
No, we do like wrestling,
Right.
And just whatever.
Yeah.
We pretty much cater to the average person that everybody.
Now, how does now? Let me ask you this. All right, how does Pauly start getting into this equation? When do you start now you're doing stuff with her, obviously, in your private life. You know what I mean? When do you take the step into the Godfather role of video life?
Yeah, I guess we just started doing it right when we were away and stuff.
Well, I think I just needed a little bit more exciting videos.
Yeah. Okay, so you wanted to spice up the content a little bit more, so you added him in.
Mm.
What was your initial thought of this?
Well, I mean, I guess because of my job, I kind of was like up in the air about it, but
Yeah.
so then I kind of was like into it.
What got you into it? So what I mean is it's not like you're doing this against your will. You actually like that. You have fun doing it.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. And listen, we all know, like you said with that show, Billions, this and that, and this is why everybody out here will say whatever they want to say. They can say whatever about anybody's life, but behind the scenes, there's a lot of shit that goes on in people's lives that nobody knows about. So.
And also, we're running a family and being like parents.
Yeah.
And, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, it's not all we are.
Yeah. Well, let me touch on that. Now, obviously, a lot of people sit here and they say, "Oh, they have kids and this and that. What about the kids?" You hear that all day long. How did your families feel about this?
My kids are probably watching more porn than I am.
In this generation, I wouldn't doubt that.
Nobody wants to see their mother naked.
Okay.
And none of their friends want to see a 45-year-old. So my kids are fine because I'm not a drug addict.
Mm-hmm.
I spend time with them. There's plenty of mothers out there that are not doing my job that spend no time and probably abuse their children.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, like, I'm a good mother, and like, I could work at a corporate office and be a heroin addict.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
You're not wrong about that. You're right. Yeah, I get what you're saying.
So my kids just know that I'm a good person, and
do they know that you do this stuff?
yeah, they probably.
Have you ever had to have a conversation with them about it?
I think they just kind of like saw like what was on the news or whatever, which was actually. Cheating cop has a viral video. So
yeah, why
if
did
that
they
was
do
the
it?
case, people like are reaching out to me.
That is kind of funny because I dealt with the media.
Yeah,
so essentially, you're not like running around town and people are like treating you like you're this sex icon, porn star, and like calling you candy everywhere you go. Around town locally, you're just a normal person.
I'm like no makeup, like sweats, hair up. And I'm just a normal person.
Yeah. So now you're getting involved in deeper in the industry of fetishes.
Just more sites.
Yeah.
And,
now you're still kind of like getting flown out places and doing things like that.
If someone is a producer, they will, it's good.
When you're doing these things, is it a controlled thing where like, because I think in people's minds, they're thinking that this is like, they almost probably assume that this is like an escort situation. Like you're just going and meeting random people, getting flown out to, you get what I'm saying?
Have me in their clips, yeah.
Right. So what I was getting at is that I think most of society kind of looks at how this like stuff works and they're like, oh, she's getting flown here, she's getting flown there, whatever. Like they kind of in their minds think some random guy's hitting you up, emailing you or whatever, and it's like, hey,
their sites that they're doing, or the models that they've worked with, and proof of ID and all that stuff.
Yeah, so it's not like you're risking yourself and going places with people you don't even know who they are. You're verifying these people. You're verifying. These are like these are people that are doing business type stuff. Mm-hmm. Making these videos for business, their business and whatever. So, because I think that's where it gets skewed.
We actually went to a convention and there was a bunch of cops that are doing this because they had to resign for.
Yeah. You told me about this. Now, it's funny because where was this convention?
I went to one in Florida. We went to one in New Jersey. Yeah.
So you go to this convention, you go with her, and now how do you come across this group of they're like either retired or resigned cops that got in trouble for doing this stuff, or?
Well, they had their own sites. He didn't have his own site, but he was just saying what he
Security guard.
what he used to do,
Yeah.
and he's like, it's so common, but they're just doing this now.
I think sexual stuff is very common in this world. Obviously, it's a $1 billion industry. So to say it's not is an understatement. But yeah, I think there's a lot of people behind closed doors that do things that we can't even imagine. So, I mean, Pauly, how did you feel knowing that you were in law enforcement and you were involved in this alternative lifestyle? Did it make you nervous? Were you worried?
I it didn't really bother me. I was kind of relaxed about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I guess maybe I could have been a little more worried, but with my personality, I kind of just...
Yeah, we know.
Whatever.
Yeah, you're just nonchalant
with
it. Yeah.
Yeah, I was comfortable doing it. So I was like...
So no, you never thought, let me put a mask on maybe or something,
Not really, I know.
No.
I didn't.
Well, did you think that anybody really was going to see this stuff locally or on that level?
No, I didn't.
Well, and let me, now, I don't, if people want to buy my stuff, thank you for supporting me. I appreciate that. No, I'm serious. That month, everything blew up.
That's actually funny.
But you cannot be in this industry and block your town, because as what happened, if I block my town, and then you go on vacation to Virginia and you're just looking up whatever and you're like, it's, that's why I'm okay. I mean, this is me, this is what I, what I mean? You have to be okay with it, or wear a mask the whole time, like I said, this is whatever, but you cannot block, which is what happened,
right.
So.
Now, Pauly, were you at all, embarrassed that people knew that you were doing these things? Did it bother you at all?
I mean, I guess a little bit. I mean, people seen videos of me having sex and naked and stuff.
You had to.
My friends and everything. So
Well, they watched this. So
well, I would think that I would have almost thought at this point you're so open about it that, you know what I mean? It's almost like we hear you talk about it all the time. You're very comfortable talking about it. Right. So,
I mean, it's just the way it happened.
Are you comfortable in that atmosphere doing that stuff, like being on camera and doing that stuff?
At this point, I think I am.
Yeah, it doesn't. See, here's what people don't understand. I know Pauly. I've already known that he was doing this stuff. All right, he's my boy, and even when I was, it was funny because one of the girls that I was dating, when we would hang out and stuff, she's more understanding of what you guys would do than I was. And she would always break my balls about it because I would always break his balls about it. But Pauly knows, I would never probably do anything on that level of how they live. But I'm also not a person that sits there and says I can't be cool with you, or you can't be my boy, you can't be my friend. They're not hurting anybody at the end of the day. My motto in life is that, I just don't want people around me that are doing negative things that are hurting people, and there's victims of their life. You guys don't do that. So I would always, you gotta break Pauly's balls. That's just who Pauly is. If you know Pauly, that's what we do with him, and he's the same way. He does it too, right back to you. So that's kind of like the bro relationship you have with him. But you are who you are, and he's just a very unique individual, a one of a kind that I don't know anybody like him. And you meet these people in your life where you just know that there's not another Pauly anywhere. You know what I mean? There's probably not another Krissy anywhere. So you guys are this unique couple. So Paul, I think, there's a lot of questions people wanted me to ask, and I'm not going to be a disrespectful person because you're my boy. But some of these things that you were doing, obviously people are like, how could you do this stuff? Sexual things.
Having sex with his wife?
No. There, things that he's putting inside of him that people are asking about. Yeah, I don't know if this is. I never watched this stuff. I never watched this stuff.
100%. You want?
You want?
He is not any of those models.
I don't know what goes on. I didn't watch it, so you have to tell me.
I am clearing the air right now.
And what do you mean by that?
He is not any of the models.
Models and...
That put anything inside of him.
Okay, so nothing's going inside of you.
Hell.
So you want to clear that story up now. Because you know that's what
Oh my God.
So this is what everybody wanted me to ask. There's a question,
okay,
right?
And here's the thing, though. If you look close enough, which, I mean, there's probably people that you've worked with, that maybe that is their fantasy and fetish. But if you look close enough, you know Paul's body. None of those guys are.
I don't know. I didn't watch any of them.
But I just want to clear the air with that.
But that was a big question everybody wants to know.
Glad.
Is Pauly getting pegged? Is what people want to know, right? And the answer is no. There you go. All right. I didn't watch the videos. If you people did, you know more than I do in reality when it comes to that. I'll be honest. Pauly's my boy.
Those videos because if you did, that's your fetish, and it's okay, and you can be okay with
Oh, well, Pauly's my boy, and to this day, I never even asked him personally because personally, I don't give a shit. It's what your life is your life. You know what you do with your wife is your wife. But I've never even asked Pauly that because I just it's whatever.
I never even thought of. I'm glad
you never thought? How did you not think that?
That people would think that was happening. I don't know. Oh no.
Yeah, so that was a big question that was they thought there was questions of whether you were banging him. You know what I mean? Strap-ons.
Well, no. So anything I do sexually is with him.
You're saying behind closed doors.
On film is with him.
Okay. Yeah.
Strap-on, no.
Yeah. Nothing's out. You're never putting anything inside Paul.
He didn't put anything outside me either.
Well, he's putting things inside you.
Not there, no.
You know? Okay, so there's... All right, so the air is clear. You guys got the answer on that, all right? So, I don't know the extent of what your sexual, things are going on in these videos because I didn't watch them. If you guys watch them, you know more than I do. But I will ask questions that you guys want me to ask. At the same time, I'll always be respectful to people, and I'll always, I'll never put people in uncomfortable positions. So this is what people wanted to know, and at the end of the day, the reason why I could talk to them about this stuff is because I know them well, and they are very open. And Pauly just is so nonchalant, bro, that you almost can't really hurt his feelings. I don't think you can. Pauly is one of the nicest dudes I've ever met in my life. So to be honest, like, he knows. Like when I heard about this, I came to him, with it. You know what I mean? When if you don't know what we're talking about when these videos came out. And
you were the first one.
It was kind of exposed that Pauly was doing these things, and these videos were going on sites that you didn't know about.
So it was a site that promoted them, but they would only bring them back to my store.
Mm-hmm.
So, which I was like, okay, as long as nobody's making money off my videos, but it wasn't. But what people thought was that he had one viral video going around with some random girl. I'm like...
This was the rumor.
Well, that was the news. And, if someone took a snapshot of you having sex, I'd be like, all right, whatever. Like, I'm not going to bring it to your job and get you fired for it.
Yeah.
So that was like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
and so so that's what happened is somebody brought it to your job.
Yeah, well, I think we almost like 100% was my ex who did it.
Yeah.
Promoted
And you think that was just a vindictive thing? Like she's just
100%.
Yeah. So you believe she brought it to your department and then that kind of spawned everything that came from there. So now these videos come out. You didn't even know about it really. Now you didn't know until I texted you.
Right.
So he was kind of in the dark. This was going around already.
It was real, but
he didn't know that people knew and that it was going around.
Right. And someone took a
locally and all this stuff.
Right.
Yeah. So you didn't really think that anybody that you knew about him
or would care.
Yeah. So essentially what happens is I get a text message of I don't even remember if it was links to the videos or just snapshots or whatever. And my relationship with Pauly is if I know something's going on with him, I always keep it real. I always check in with him. I always tell him the deal. And anybody I care about, like if I hear something going on with you, I'm gonna tell you. You know what I mean? I'm gonna talk to you. I'm gonna make sure you're good, or if you know, or whatever. And so I just text Pauly, just informing him that this is what I'm seeing, and it just went from there. I guess that was the first time he found out about it. So then, after I text you, how long after that did your department get?
It went pretty quick.
Pretty quick, yeah. So it was almost the same day.
News
Yeah.
and the paper.
Well, I'll tell you, man. Imagine if I didn't text you. What would have happened? You would have got blindsided.
Yeah.
Blindsided. That's not a good feeling. So your department finds out about it, and what do they say basically?
Well, I got suspended, and I'm obviously weren't too happy.
Yeah, obviously. When they actually talked to you about it, what was their view on why they didn't approve of it?
They didn't really like give me a statement, tell me that why they didn't approve it. No, it was just more of this like, what were you doing? And
so they kind of started interrogating you about it.
That was
instead of saying like, hey, like that's kind of I feel it's somewhat unprofessional in a way, but we all know how these departments work. Very sneaky and very like they have to try to get you by the balls. In the reality, they should have just came to you and said, hey man, this is what we see going on. We don't approve of it as a department, and this is why. Give you an explanation. Instead, they just kind of just come to you and start interrogating you. Don't even tell you why they disapprove of it.
Yes.
You get suspended for what reason? For something else or for that?
No, for that. But there wasn't really like clarified exactly why it was. We just investigated.
You weren't suspended. You were on leave.
Paid administration.
Yeah. So there was no actual suspension.
No.
There's no discipline yet.
Right.
Okay. So how long were you out for until you get
6
to
months, Ron?
6 months, and they're paying you?
Yes.
Okay. I know that feeling. What were you going through during that time, bro?
I was stressed bad.
Yeah. And Pauly's not really a guy that stresses that much. But I do remember, and I've went through a lot of this stuff. So it was funny because when he came to me, he's like, I kind of understand now, like the feeling of what you might have had to go through. And you don't really understand until you go through that stuff. You're worrying about whether you're going to keep your job or not. There's a million things going through your head. And then you got everybody out here obviously having their own opinion of who you are and what's going on. And when you're a cop, it just elevates that to a different level because of the job. So you're waiting for 6 months to hear what's going to happen here, and they're kind of like dicking you around a little bit. You know what I mean? Like they're not being fully honest with you. You kind of already have the feeling that you're kind of fucked.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And that's kind of a shitty feeling. And what's even shittier about it is, when you don't have that support and you kind of see like, wow, like guys that I was cool with or guys that were nice to me or you think are your friends or this and that, they'll throw you under the bus in a minute.
Oh yeah.
Right? So it's a shitty feeling to go through that stuff. And some people will sit here and they'll be like, well, he should have known better and this and that and whatever. And to each their own. And it's kind of like, I'll be honest with you. I said this to myself. I go, people know me as this, crazy cop that did, tattooed his face, that did this. I went through a lot of shit to be who I wanted to be against people that were way shittier people, doing way fucked up things. And wouldn't hesitate in a minute to stab people in the back and do things poorly to people. There's no victims to what he did. There was no victims to anything I did as a police officer either. So like, if anything, if we hurt anybody by anything that we have had to go through that portrayed us in a certain manner, we hurt ourselves the most.
Yes.
We stress ourselves out the most.
Yeah.
There's nobody that's a victim of what we did. So that's where it's kind of ironic, is that people kind of paint this picture of you as this bad person because you wear this uniform and you did something, even though there was no victim to what you did. You know, you're really only hurting yourself. They live a certain life, and that's the life they chose to live. And yeah, maybe some people don't approve of it, and it might not be a place for in policing, or it probably doesn't intertwine. You know, in reality, when you sit there, you probably know, like,
Right.
if they find out about this, I'm probably fucked, right? You know what I mean? So even though the reality is you probably shouldn't be judged in that manner, right? I mean, it's interesting because when we were in New Haven, we had what? Like, we had a trans cop. We had a cop that was trans. And it's just interesting to see that you have to, like, all these things are accepted, right? All these lifestyle changes or how people live their lives are accepted more than how other people live them. And personally, I don't believe that that's right. I just believe that if the only thing you should be judged by is how many victims there are of your life, and that's it. So Pauly, you go through this whole thing now. How are you feeling during this, and what are you going through?
I couldn't believe that it was taken to that level.
Yeah.
By so much hatred from someone.
Yeah.
You know, some people cut their nose off to spite their face.
That's true.
Know?
That's true.
But I felt bad for him, but like I was supportive of him, but I really, you know, like, I kept doing my thing. We took some of the videos down, and kind of sales went down, which is
well, at that point, I think, and I had to go through that too. When this is a similar situation where, you know, if you watch the last episode, I explained why I had to stop the podcast. I had to stop it to protect myself, my job, my things like that. You know, so in a way, you took a little bit of a hit, but you didn't let it stop you to a certain extent. You know, and you guys kind of rode through the storm of everything. And that's what will happen is, like, you know, that's what they kind of want, right? The people that are bringing this hatred and stress to your life regarding what you guys are doing, they want to see you fail. They want to see you fall. They want to see you not be who you want to be, and all these things. So I had to go through that. I had to stop my podcast to protect myself. You know, you rode through the storm. And riding through that storm, Pauly's going through the battle of trying to keep his job. And you're still trying to keep your thing going, because I think at that point, did you know that this was what you wanted to do? Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, I would think that at that point, for you to continue doing it, you have to know that this is something you're good at, something you can be, you know, make a good living at.
Yeah, and I love it, and it was nothing. I mean, like you said, I mean, it was nothing I did wrong. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
yeah. And I think if it was something that you weren't good at and weren't succeeding at, you probably would have been more or less like, okay, like, I'm not going to do this.
Yeah, no, I absolutely love it.
Yeah, because otherwise, why, you know, if he's going through what he's going through,
and he supported me the whole time.
Yeah, and you weren't, and you were doing something that really wasn't going to bring a benefit, then it wouldn't make sense to do it, right? Mm-hmm. So, but it was benefiting both of you in a way, even though it kind of like hurt the other aspect of your second career and stuff. But so how does it get to a point where you're not there anymore? Now, they wanted to fire you?
Basically, yeah, it was kind of like that.
What were you told? What you chose to resign?
Yes.
Why?
Yeah, I guess I probably would have got fired.
You guess, but you don't know.
I think that's the way it was going.
Yeah, you know that's what they probably wanted.
Right.
You know? But see, this is the difference, and you know how I am, bro. You took that route, it was whatever. I mean, you already had a pension, so you could kind of have something to rely on.
Right.
With me, I'm you know, if I didn't fight for myself, I'm losing everything I ever worked for, you know? That's hard. But, you know, you knew that they were going this route. You knew they wanted you. They were trying everything they can to make that happen. So you made that decision. At that point, did you kind of know, like, I'm never going to be a cop again?
Yes.
Yeah. Were you accepted of that?
Yes.
Right now, do you care? I mean, not that you don't care, but like, do you have any ambition to want to do that anymore?
No,
No?
I mean, because it was like 27 years in policing. It's time to hang it up after all this.
Sometimes things can kind of be a blessing in a way.
Right.
Right? You know, I went through a lot of, and I say this all the time, the hardest things you go through kind of bring,
Right.
you know, the most out of your life. Whether it's clarity, whether it's whatever. Do you feel you're more clear-minded now?
I feel I am.
Less stressed?
Yes.
Yeah, so the job kind of being away from it was somewhat blessing for you, you know? Like,
Right.
And since you left that, what have you been doing? I know you really haven't been working much, just kind of chilling out. Yeah, I mean, I did the same. After I left, retired, I took a year
Right.
off, you know what I mean? And I think
Right.
that's important. You kind of got to figure shit out, you
Right.
know what I mean? Now, do you think you're going to continue doing the stuff you were doing with her?
Yes.
Yeah. That was a pretty confident answer. Pretty confident. He's ready. But is this going to be like a thing where you guys are going to make it a business? Like a couple's business?
It's my business.
Right.
But
You never know. The Godfather might take over. He might be the shining star, rising star here.
But yeah, definitely, you know, working with me, so I love that. Yeah.
All right, so you guys are still going at it. Do you? Where do you want to take this? Like, do you have ambitions to do other things in this industry? Or is this like? Is there a plateau for you with this stuff?
No, I just keep doing the clips and working with more people, you know, more models, and you know, we have events, and it's just stay where I am. I absolutely love it, and I get to stay home with my family for, you know, a week or two, and then, you know, so it's not like I'm
traveling.
Yeah, and then if I'm gone for a couple of days, it like that I'm home for a week. Like, I balance. The balance is key.
Yeah. So financially, you guys are good. You have more freedom than you've ever had before.
Oh yeah.
And you're actually retired. You know what I mean? And you're living a life. You're not retired, but you're not.
No,
they say you're not working when you're doing what you love to do.
All day long. Yeah.
So you know what I mean? Like, yes, same deal. I mean, there's no better feeling like, and you know, I've had businesses and stuff like that when you create something and you can see that you can make money from it, and then people like it. It's
and I love.
It's an addicting feeling.
I love making my fans happy.
Yeah.
If I get a custom video of whatever, I mean, it could be. I had one of just oiling up my calves, and it was like that when that person says like, that was like, I love that because I'm making someone happy.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
do you get any? Is there stuff that you get requests that you say no to? You're like, yeah, I'm not doing that. Or do people kind of know not to come to you with
no?
certain
I mean,
things?
sometimes if there's like, you know, if I can't get, like, there was something like where, you know, one of my other female models needed to be smaller than me, but I was like, I wouldn't be with them for a couple months, you know what I mean? So I couldn't do it at that time, but no.
Nothing like crazy that people are asking you to do that you would never do.
No,
like
mostly like muscle flexing.
Yeah, so they stay in that category.
Yeah, because that's what I kind of gear towards.
Yeah. In your personal lives, like, are you involved in like the swinging lifestyle, like stuff like that?
Absolutely.
You know, I think that's something else that people think probably
Actually,
is
absolutely
going on.
not.
No, so nobody's allowed to have Pauly.
Hell fucking no.
Oh, all right. Off limits. He's off limits. Sorry. But yeah, so all right. I mean, I think we touched on most things that people wanted to know. This kind of gives people more of an insight to who you guys are as a couple. You know, what you kind of had to go through to stay together.
And there's a lot of people out there that have there are different lifestyles that
Everybody
that you don't even know about, and of course, because they're not in the spotlight or they're not, their job isn't whatever. So I think it's important to embrace it, and there's plenty of plenty of men that can't get anything from their wives. So I think that having a healthy relationship is good. You know what I mean? And yes,
it is probably it's very beneficial, and you're right, because what happens when people are, everything you're talking about is somewhat people not being happy, right? Mm. And so what do they do when they're not happy? They cope negatively. They do negative things. A lot of the world cannot deal with being unhappy.
I mean, it is a little exciting when you're doing when you're filming, me flexing. So,
do you get when you're out doing this stuff? Is it like an adrenaline rush? Are you is it like a natural high?
Yeah, kinda? It's pretty exciting.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah. Did you ever think you'd be doing this shit?
No, I didn't.
No. Did you ever have any, before you met her, have you ever had situations like that before?
No.
You come across stuff like that?
No.
It was just regular shit. Yeah.
I think I'm the first bodybuilder there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
First bodybuilder?
Yeah, because again, just it's not a weird fetish to like girls with muscle. That's not weird, but whatever. He felt a little odd about it, because most guys, or there's guys that if they do, they keep it to themselves, because I don't know why. Mm-hmm. It's not like I have a third eye or something, but I think so. When he was able to be I've always liked this, I was cool, because then it's supported. So
you kind of always had a thing for chicks that were bodybuilding and stuff like that, fitness chicks stuff. Okay, interesting. You never had anything like that? You never went that route and tried to get somebody like that?
I don't think I ever did.
No?
No.
So it was just something that you kind of had in the back of your mind that you always were
like... from St. Patrick's Day.
Was it your fetish, Pauly? It was your fetish? All right, I mean, Paul, I'm proud of you, bro, man. You've went through a whole career. You've got your balls broken to every which way. But I think everybody that kind of knows Pauly and came across him, even when we worked together, if you were a cop that worked with him, he was a good dude. You know that you always had fun around him. And you know damn well that if he wasn't around, it wouldn't have been the same. So, listen, I hope I asked all the questions that you guys wanted to know. These two right here are definitely a unique couple. There's no doubt about it. They probably are meant to be together, right? Mm-hmm. So why even care? Why is this part of your videos?
Oh, yeah.
Is this part of your videos? Oh, that's funny, dude. Pauly, you got to get jacked up. What are you doing?
He's getting bigger than me.
Now you're probably in the best shape of your life, though.
Yeah, probably.
It's funny.
Right.
That is what happens. I'm in the best shape of my life too.
Right.
Mm-hmm. I still have a lot of stress though, but not as much as I did when you take that cop life out, right?
Right.
It's kind of interesting. Even your brother's probably in the best shape of his life too. So I mean, it is funny when you see people after that life. They're totally different.
Oh,
it's crazy, Proud of you guys for being who you wanted to be in life. That's what this show is all about. I know that everybody has their views and opinions of what they're doing, but you kind of got to respect that in a way that they're being themselves and that they're genuine about it. They don't shy away from answering questions. They don't shy away from being who they want to be. And ultimately, I think most of us want that, right? We just don't know really how to go about it. So this life is about living, and they're living, And like we said, there's no victims to their life.
And everybody watches porn.
Everybody does watch porn, But here's the deal: there's that's another interesting topic because
that's a podcast number 2.
It is another podcast, and I actually might do that with you one day because there's I think it's starting to come out a lot now that when you look at religion and you look at other aspects of life. Porn is looked at as very negative in these things, when it comes to relationships, when it comes to they say like it causes certain aspects of dopamine in your brain. They say when you watch porn, basically what's happening is you're getting a dopamine dump, like you're getting a blast of dopamine, and that's anything that makes you kind of feel good in the moment. That's what that does to your brain, you know.
I mean,
so we're gonna have to we're gonna have to do something like that, because, and even if you find other people in your industry that might want to do it, and talk about certain other aspects of the porn industry and your opinions of what people's views are on it. Like I said, like in religion aspect, they say it's negative. Like they even say masturbation is negative. You shouldn't be doing any of this type of stuff. Then there's spiritual aspects of it. They say, you know, certain aspects of your soul, and like, you know, even just casual sex in general. They talk about saying that when you have sex with another person that you're not necessarily connected to, or that you love, or whatever, things like that, you're trading energies and all this stuff, and soul ties, and there's so much involved in it, you know. So that would be very interesting to do. So maybe we will do that. But listen, proud of you guys. I'm happy that we got to talk. I think everybody was anticipating this interview, and Paul, like I said, I'm proud of you. Krissy, I'm proud of you. Thanks. The Godfather, Candy. Go follow her on Instagram. What's your Instagram?
Candyland_007.
Follow her. You know, if you're interested in I'm sure there's some guys watching this that are, right, that are into the things that she does. Maybe you were a guy like Pauly, where you were always interested in bodybuilding women, but you just didn't, you know, really talk about it that much.
Buy the videos. I don't know your username.
And then maybe one day you'll be like Pauly and you'll be all over the news and go through a scandal like he did. You never know, right? But all right, well, listen, it's Sunday. It's Philly versus Dallas. Pauly wants to watch this game. It's 8:42 right now.
He's stressing down.
And listen, he was a good sport. He did this with this game on. If Michigan was playing right now, fuck no, I wouldn't have done this shit. You know? So, listen, guys. Episode 34, we're done. If anybody has anybody that they know that wants to come on the show, be interviewed, this is what it's about. It's about talking to normal people, exposing who they really are, because everybody out here has a view of who somebody is without knowing them, and that's the majority of what people are doing in society. So I like to bring people's real personalities out, real talks, get deeper, because I have that why brain, and just kind of show that we're all kind of connected in a way, and there are people out here doing good things and living good lives and being free at the same time. So I love everybody out there. Thank you for watching the show. Pauly, Krissy, thank you. Take care.
Peace.